All right, let's just dive right into one of the most confusing and honestly kind of controversial questions out there. What is the absolute smartest way to get a new car? It feels like every option is just designed to make your head spin. So you walk into that dealership and you're immediately hit with these core paths, right? Do you buy it outright with cash? Do you lease it, which is basically like a long-term rental? Or do you finance it over a few years? This isn't a small decision either. For a lot of us, it's one of the biggest financial moves we'll make. And the stakes here are super high. Making the wrong choice can literally cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So to cut through all the sales talk and confusion, an accountant actually ran the numbers on everything. And, well, what they found is pretty surprising. Okay, before we can even get to which one is the cheapest, we need to be crystal clear on what these options actually are. So let's do a quick breakdown of the 4 main ways you can get behind the wheel of a brand new car. First up, we've got the most straightforward path. Buying outright. You pay the full price on day one. The car is yours. It's clean, simple, done. No monthly payments, no interest, no fuss. Next up is something called a hire purchase, or HP. The easiest way to think about this is like a traditional car loan. You put down a deposit, and then your monthly payments are chipping away at the entire value of the car, plus interest. But at the end of it all, you own the car. Then we have leasing. This is basically just a long-term rental, and here's the absolute key difference. Your payments aren't for the full price of the car. No way. They only cover the amount of value the car is expected to lose. That's the depreciation while you're driving it. When you're done, you just hand the keys back. And finally, the really popular one, PCP, or Personal Contract Purchase. This one's kind of like a hybrid. You pay a deposit, you have monthly payments, but here's the trick. A huge chunk of the car's value is pushed to the very end in what's called a balloon payment. This setup is designed for flexibility, giving you 3 totally different choices when the contract's up. You can pay that big final amount and keep the car, you can just return it and walk away, or you can use any leftover value as a deposit on your next new car. Okay, now that we've got the basics down, let's get to the main event. Which one actually costs the most? We're going to see how they stack up using the real numbers from that accountant's case study. So to make sure this is a fair apples-to-apples comparison, the whole analysis uses one consistent scenario. We're looking at a new Audi, a pretty typical family car that costs about 30,000 pounds. For all the finance and lease options, we're going to assume the same 4,500 pound deposit, all over a 3-year period. Okay, let's look at the numbers. Now, your eyes probably jump straight to that monthly payment column, right? You see that hire purchase is a pretty steep 810 pounds a month, while leasing looks way more affordable at 345. But, and this is a big but, that final column is what really matters. That's the true cost after you factor in what the car is worth at the end of 3 years. And that's where the story completely flips. And when you see it visually like this, it is crystal clear. Buying the car outright is by far the cheapest way to go. It costs you £14,000 in lost value or depreciation over those 3 years. Leasing and hire purchase are kind of neck and neck, both around the £17,000 mark. And the most expensive option of them all? Yeah, it's that super flexible PCP deal, coming in at a whopping £21,000.
So you gotta ask, why is the most expensive option also one of the most popular? Well, as the source points out, it's usually the one the dealership is pushing the hardest. PCP is a goldmine for them because it keeps you locked into their system. That lower monthly payment feels really affordable, and at the end of the term, they make it incredibly easy for you to just roll into another brand new car. From them, of course. It keeps you on the hook. But of course, this decision isn't just about the raw numbers on a spreadsheet. If it was, everybody with enough cash would just buy outright, end of story. There are these huge psychological factors and lifestyle choices that paint a very different picture.
It really boils down to 2 different mindsets. On one side, you've got the owner. This is the person who buys outright or uses hire purchase. They get total freedom, no mileage limits, they can modify the car, whatever they want. But they're on the hook for all the maintenance costs once that warranty runs out. On the other side, you've got the new car driver who uses a lease or a PCP. They get the thrill of a brand new car every few years, always under warranty, and they never have to deal with the hassle of selling it. The trade-off? They have to watch their mileage like a hawk, and they never actually own anything at the end. So with all of this information, you've got the hard numbers and the softer lifestyle stuff. How in the world do you choose the right path for you? Let's try and distill all of this into one final simple guide.
So let's just boil it all down. If you're trying to figure this out, here's the bottom line.
If you have the cash saved up, buying outright is, without a doubt, the cheapest way to own a car. If your absolute top priority is having the lowest possible monthly payment for a new vehicle, then leasing is going to be your best friend. If you want to finance a car but you plan to keep it for a really long time, hire purchase is your most direct path to owning it. And PCP? Well, it's the most expensive, but it gives you the most flexibility if you're someone who just loves getting a new car every few years.
You know, dealerships might try to steer you with all these special offers and focus only on that monthly payment figure, but the total cost of ownership, that number rarely lies. The most important thing is to run these numbers for yourself. Now that you've seen the full breakdown, you can decide what truly matters more to you. Is it the lowest total cost, the lowest monthly payment, or the ultimate flexibility? So, which path are you going to choose?